Welcome everyone to another week of Out of the Box Gaming. I am your host, Nick Picard, and joining me is my co-host, Will Kinsey. How are you, Will?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, Nick?
I am doing great. Alright, if this is your first time joining us in this podcast, we talk about all things game related, from video games, role-playing games, and everything in between. We dig deep. You can find us discuss all types of games as like well as strategy. Sometimes we can get special guests. If you consider yourself a gamer, then this podcast is for you.
Exactly. We just want to share our love of games with you and maybe even introduce you guys to something new. This podcast, every week, you're going to find different topics every episode. And we also want to hear from you guys. So feel free to drop topic ideas, discussion questions, anything like that.
All right, so now please welcome our producer Lindsay, and she's going to start us off with our trivia question that we have each episode.
Hey guys, this week's trivia question has a bonus question that goes with it. Okay?
Ooh.
So, the main question is, in what year did Nintendo release its first game console in North America? Okay? I did do some more extensive research on this question, and they did not release their first ones in North America. It took a little bit. So what was that year? And then the bonus question is, what was the name of that game console?
Goodness.
From the look on Nick's face, it might be a little harder this week.
The exact year is going to be super tough. I think I know the console, but I do not. The year is going to be tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be thinking on that one.
Yeah, goodness. Well, if you guys want to think on that question, Lindsay will be back with us at the end of the episode to hear our answers and then tell us what the correct answer is. So if you're watching live, go ahead and feel free to comment your answers. And remember, no cheating.
All right. So, each episode we just kind of tell you guys what we've been playing this past week. Just kind of give you a feel of kind of games that we enjoy playing and if we like bounce around. So this week, well, I guess I'll ask you first. What have you been playing?
This week, did a couple of role plays. Guess we'll venture away from the video games here for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you and I played a couple of tabletop RPGs, not necessarily around a tabletop, but we played a little Mutants and Masterminds, which, for those of you who don't know, it is a tabletop RPG very similar to Dungeons and Dragons, but you play as superheroes, and you can pretty much create any superpower that you want. And I'm currently DMing for Nick, our producer Lindsay, and a few of our other friends. Cody, one of our amazing supporters on Patreon, and our friend Alex, who he is an admin for us as well. And they did really well with their characters. Some of them have some really silly stuff. Nick, if you want to maybe tell people about your character a little bit.
My character's name is Graviton or Grav. He's a superhero that has powers dealing with gravity. His backstory was that he is a professor at like the highest level university in the world. And he got his powers by he had a idea for experiments during one of his lectures, and whenever he was doing his experiment, just kind of went south, and he got like knocked out by, I think it was an explosion that I said that happened or something, and then he woke up and he discovered that he had these powers. So I won't go into too detailed with it. So that's just
He
the gist.
controls gravity, and he's also super rich.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And Lindsay, would you like to tell the people about your character?
Sure. Her name
Awesome.
is Shane Gallagher. She, I won't tell her whole story, but basically, something happened to her sister when they were younger, and no one was brought to justice for it. And so her sort of mission was to train, and she actually met someone who does experiments, and so she signed up for one, and she now can control energy. And so she's sort of been training with her energy control and with some martial arts to become this really, I don't know, sort of scary BA person, I guess, who is seeking revenge for her sister. Yeah. I'm still working on a superhero name, so if we got any suggestions, I will certainly take those.
Oh yeah, if anyone's got any awesome superhero names for a martial artist who fires energy blasts, drop it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we played that. It was really fun, and then we played a little bit of D&D. We've been playing that campaign for a couple of years. Um, yeah, Nick, what have you been playing this week, my man?
Well, other than the role playing games that you just said, which I'll say with the Mutants and Masterminds, um, I will be streaming that if you care to, come in, like watch that. It should be entertaining. I'm not really sure when it will happen, but if you go to my mixer, you can just see when I will like pull up that we're doing, role playing, and yeah. So other than that, this week, earlier in the week, played Valorant, which if y'all don't know, Valorant is a new game that Riot came out with, and it was in beta, but the beta ended, I think, on Thursday, and the game will now be officially launched on June 2nd. And this will give them time to like reset everyone's accounts and update the game with potential like bug fixes and then add content. So if you haven't, if you weren't able to get into the beta, the game was going to be coming out this coming up week. I think it's free to play, so if you enjoy shooters, especially if you enjoy Overwatch and Counter Strike, this is just like a mashup between the two. It's really fun, so I suggest downloading it and giving it a try. But other than that, which that was earlier in the week, obviously been playing more Overwatch, and I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 because I've been trying to get through the game, trying to get through that backlog because there's some other games coming out that I want, but I want to try to finish some other ones I've had for a while. Which earlier this morning I actually finished the main game of Red Dead 2. I just started the epilogue that happened afterwards. It's a really good game. I enjoyed the first one, and this one is just like so much more. There's a lot to do. So, but yeah. Oh, and then last night, me, Lindsay, and our friend Cody, we got Minecraft Dungeons, and we started that last night, and that's a lot of fun.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. It's really enjoyable. It's not like a full price game. It's $20. So, and it's a dungeon crawler. So if you enjoyed those, I recommend it. I'm enjoying it so far, even though we've only done the tutorial in one mission. So, yeah.
It was getting late, so we had to,
Yeah.
to get off.
But it's
that one looks really fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's what we've been playing this week, and then we're going to move along into the podcast. So last week, I shared my unpopular opinion about how EA doesn't always suck. If you haven't checked that episode out, make sure you go and check it out. It was episode 2. But this week, we want to hear about Will's unpopular opinion. So, Will,
Yay.
what is your unpopular opinion that you would like to bring this episode?
So, I've got a lot of unpopular opinions, but this episode, I want to talk about one that's not very well known, but Sea of Thieves, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people think it's one of the best pirate games to be made and that it's extremely realistic. Apart from the graphics are extremely cartoony, but everyone's like, it's the realest pirate game. And it's not. It just isn't. It's a terrible. Well, okay, so the game itself is great. The community, depending on what server you're on, can make it absolutely terrible. And it's not realistic. And people use it's a realistic pirate game as an excuse to grief entire servers and make the game unplayable for newbies. So when people say it's a realistic pirate game, when I uninstalled when we were playing, and they just kept our ship afloat and kept murdering me by camping our ship, even though we didn't have any loot. It's just really messed up. That's not realistic at all. And then being in outposts that are actual cities, where people go and trade and stuff like that, those places were usually protected by the Royal Navy in real life. You can just roll up on someone, destroy their ship, and take all their loot while they're trying to sell it in Sea of Thieves. It's not realistic in my mind. So that's kind of where I stand on my unpopular opinion. And yeah, it seems like most people just don't care.
I mean, can I add to this?
You can, 100%.
So, from when we've played, there was one time where this ship came to attack us and we got away. They chased us down for like an hour.
Yeah. I think it was more like 3 hours. It was
And
the
when-
whole time we were playing.
And at the time, we didn't really have it. Like, we may have had like one treasure, but we were starting out, so it was like nothing. Like, you weren't going to get a lot for it. But they were just chasing us down. And it was very frustrating because they have a game mode where you can get into the middle of action. And I believe that the people that go around and just bombard everyone, like the new people or whatever, they're the ones
in the adventure mode.
Yeah, in the adventure mode. They're the ones that are not good in the very high action one, and then they just get derped on. So they're like, you know what? Let's just go, kill all the newbies trying to like just do quests and stuff.
100%. Like, I'm just trying to fish off a dock, and some crazy dudes come in shooting me with harpoons, pulling me on their ship, and murdering me.
Yeah,
that's not cool.
No, that's not very piratey. It's like, oh hey, there's a dude fishing. Pow, he's dead. He didn't have anything.
What happened to the pirate code?
Yeah.
Right.
There's no pirate code in Sea of Thieves, which makes it extremely unrealistic.
And then I think one of my biggest problems with a game is whenever you start playing the game, you have to invest a lot of time if you want to get stuff done, because and it makes no sense. You can't save your treasure. You can't bury your treasure.
Yeah,
like
bury the treasure.
If you get it, if you want the rewards, you have to go to the outpost and sell it. I'm sorry, what if I wanted to hop on for an hour? Like, missions, they could take, over an hour, especially if you get ones where it's like you have to go multiple places. You have to find the treasure,
riddles and stuff.
Yeah, and then go back to the outpost and sell it. But
and then you got outpost campers.
Like, give me a chance to bury my treasure, or have like a loot, like a vault system or something like on your ship, or I guess like at an outpost maybe. But I don't know. There's some
it's
problems with the
silly.
game. So,
It's a great proof of concept game, but they left the system too wide open for griefing.
yes.
It's like the whole game is an anarchy server.
Yeah. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, we had fun when we played, but whenever it got to the point where we get on, and it's like, after we go to the first island, or even when we leave the outpost, and we're already getting bombarded by people that we're just on, and we're just starting out, and don't have anything, it's just frustrating. And it
Yeah.
makes the game, like, unplayable. So,
Indeed, it does. And server hopping is impossible as well. So you can't get away from them.
yeah. Well,
So yeah, that's the unpopular opinions, part A and part B of Sea of Thieves.
yeah. Yeah.
Goodness.
I'm sure in future episodes we'll have more unpopular opinions, but those are from last week and this week. That's what we have. All right.
Wonderful.
So now we're gonna move on to this next thing, and it's called Guess the Game. And it's so Lindsay's going to describe how this game is going to work, and we're going to do it.
Yeah, so this game is a guess the game. A lot of games. I'm going to read you a vague description of a video game, and the first person to correctly tell me the name of the game will get a point. I forgot to get a piece of paper. But before we get started, I did want to mention our Discord. You can find links to that in several places. This is a great way to connect with Nick and Will, as well as other gamers. And it's also a great way to participate in our podcast. You can leave topic ideas, as well as help with some of our games. In fact, our first game description comes from one of our friends on Discord. So are you guys ready to play?
100%.
So we just got to ding in.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So
we're
just-
dinging in at the end of the question.
Yes,
Or description.
I have to read the whole description before you can tell me.
Okay.
So our first one is submitted by Skylord Alexander, which is also our friend Alex, through our Discord server.
He's also an admin on our Discord server if you want to come check him out.
Correct. So the first one says, local mute boy uses the power of music to save the world, but breaks the timeline in the process.
Ding.
Yes, Will.
A Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
You are correct.
Yes!
You are correct.
Mm.
So, we ready for number 2?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
A vengeful plumber destroys the homes of countless meandering creatures while his girlfriend left him for a turtle.
Ding.
I was laughing too hard at that.
Yes, Nick.
Mario.
You
Yeah.
are correct.
I was about to say.
A correction, Super Mario.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean, I will accept it. Okay, next one. A psychotic mass murderer who doesn't leave any cave, fort, or ruin until every last living thing inside is dead.
Ding.
Yes, Will.
Skyrim?
You are correct.
Yes!
Very good. Okay, this next one is submitted by Nick and I's personal friend, Nate Peter. It says, local man gets sad that his robots are taken away, so he sends his son with no combat training to go and kill them.
Oh, no.
Ooh, did he stump us?
Can you
Those
repeat?
robots
Can
are
you
taken
repeat it?
away.
Yes. Local old man gets sad that his robots are taken away, so he sends his son with no combat training to go and kill them.
Ding.
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be a terrible guess, but Mega Man?
You're correct.
Oh my gosh.
I love myself.
This next one was also submitted by Nate Peter. Talking dinnerware has an addiction to gambling, and to pay it off, they collect souls for the devil.
Ding.
Yes.
Cuphead.
You are correct.
Never played it. I didn't know the gist of it.
Okay, this one might be a little too easy. Fish, catch, and dig your way out of debt with a talking raccoon.
Ding, 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 ding.
Nick.
Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. Teenage boy catches local wildlife in order to train them and make them fight each other.
Ding.
Yes, Will.
Pokemans.
Yes. You are correct. Okay. I think the ones I came up with myself are a little bit easier. Sorry, guys. Orphan
They're
girl.
funny though.
Thanks. Orphan girl finds herself in sticky situations while looking for hidden treasure.
You cut out a little bit there for me. Can you repeat that?
Orphan girl finds herself in sticky situations while looking for hidden treasure.
Oh.
Ding?
Nick?
I want to say Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Okay, I wasn't sure about the whole orphan part, but
Same.
yeah.
Well, see, I went back, and after I wrote this last night, I went back and searched it, and her mother died when she was like 5 or something, and then her dad died when she was 13.
Okay.
Which would technically make her
goodness.
an orphan, so.
Poor Lara.
Yeah, she didn't have much luck. Okay, grab your horse and saddle up for an epic adventure full of gunslinging, horse chases, and looting.
Ding.
Yes, Nick.
Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
Goodness, you cut out for me there, Lindsay.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I'll repeat it just so you can hear it. It
Oh,
said-
I heard saddle up and get ready for gunslinging, and I knew right then. I just didn't hear the end of the sentence.
yeah.
Or Nick's ding.
Okay, let's try this. Run through a labyrinth while overeating and being chased by dead people.
Oh. Ah, ding.
Yes,
Pac-Man.
you are correct.
Oh man.
I was gonna say Skyrim because that's the same thing.
Okay, the pharmaceutical industrial complex strikes again when plumbers gain medical license.
Ding.
Yes, Will.
I don't. Dr. Mario?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, we've got a few more. A teen sleuth annoys everyone with questions and then snoops through their things, taking random objects.
Oh man,
Ding.
that could be a lot.
Yes.
Nancy Drew.
Yeah, I put that one
Oh
in
my
for
gosh.
That was from Lindsay.
me.
Boom.
The funny thing is, so I found that one online, and the funny thing is the company that makes the game is the one that wrote that description.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And it's very accurate. Okay. Just try to make it across the country without dying of disease or breaking a wheel axle.
Ding.
Will.
Oregon Trail.
Correct.
Or its zombie version, the Oregon Trail, which is also really good.
Okay, we've got two more. Now this next one, we'll see, because I hadn't heard of it. Hopefully you guys.
Do I have a chance of winning? Because I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Oh, you
I'll
haven't
have-
been keeping score?
Well, I have, but I've been
Okay.
putting it next to the.
I'm
I'll
pretty
have
sure
to go
I'm
back
losing.
and look. So, a space traveler leads an army of tiny plant-like creatures on various, I think that's planets, to defeat monsters and collect fruit.
Ding.
Will.
Pikmin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that game. That was the shiz.
Okay, last one.
I don't think I can win.
Insanely popular hero races his friends and enemies around a series of strange racetracks while dodging banana peels and other projectiles.
Ding. Mario Kart.
You are correct. So let me look back through here.
I'm pretty sure the banana peel kind of gave that one
Yeah.
away.
Okay, I'm gonna count up Will's first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Jesus.
Pretty sure Will won this.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he won.
Nick's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which makes sense because there were 15.
Okay.
So, how does that make you feel, Nick?
That Will knows game descriptions better than me.
What do I win?
Pride?
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
cool. I'll take it.
The title winner of this game.
Yeah. Winner of Guess the Game.
Phenomenal. I love it.
All right. Well, that was a fun game. I hope everyone that was listening was able to, join in, and anyone that was watching live, hopefully y'all were able to put in your answers, what you thought it was. But we're going to move on to this next part. And it's we're just going to do a little, history of on this week in gaming history. So we're going to go through and revisit some games that came out during this week, just years ago. So the first one that we have here was 16 years ago on May 24th, which was Sunday.
This past
Sunday. So yeah, 16 years ago on the Game Boy Advance, Mario vs. Donkey Kong came out.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. I don't really know much about the game. I don't think I ever played it. Have you, Will?
I had so many Game Boy Advance games, and I do remember playing that one a little bit. But I can't really tell you the story of it. But I remember it being pretty fun. I definitely enjoyed it more than I think it was Super Mario Advance, which I think was just a port of some of the old worlds from the old Super Mario games into Advance, which was really good. But Mario vs. Donkey Kong was a special beast in and of itself. And I feel like they should remake it, or at least put a section of it into a new game.
Do you remember what all you did in the game?
I'm guessing you fought Donkey Kong at some point.
I mean, yeah.
So, the whole Mario vs. Donkey Kong thing really makes me happy because, the original Donkey Kong game, you played as Jumpman, who later on became Mario. But yeah, it's like other Mario games, except I think Donkey Kong took Peach this time, but don't quote me on that. But it was very similar to the others as it was a platformer. But yeah, I think that was the whole thing, was that Donkey Kong kidnapped Peach this time instead of Bowser.
Okay.
And so it's like some of the levels were more jungle levels instead of scary lava castle levels.
Yeah, never was a fan of the scary lava castle.
Yeah. 16 years, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. I was 10. That's probably why I don't remember much of it.
Yeah.
Goodness. So that was Sunday. Let's see. For the next one is actually Wednesday this week, May 27th.
Mm-hmm.
6 years ago, a wonderful game came out that a lot of people either loved or for some reason hated. But Watch Dogs. came out for PlayStation 3 and 4, and also for Xbox 360 and Xbox One. Which did you play any of Watch Dogs,
No.
Nick? I almost
Mm,
called you Alex.
how dare you?
Goodness. You
Um,
can slap me for that later.
um, no, I never did play it. I mean, it looked interesting to play. Um, but I know at one point somebody said that there was like human trafficking in it. I don't know if that is true, but whenever I heard that, I was like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to play that.
Yeah,
um,
it's got some things.
I mean, the idea of it, like, what you're a hacker or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that interests me, and maybe one day I'll play one of the games because I know what the next Watch Dogs, what 3 was it, Legion or something, that's going to be coming out. I mean, maybe I'll get that one. Um, yeah, I mean, it being an action adventure game, um, I mean, I enjoy games like that. But what all do you do in the game? If you could just give like a little rundown on it, on someone who's never played it or hasn't even seen it or gave interest in it.
So I didn't get to play it a whole lot, as I didn't own it, but I did play it on my friend's PlayStation for several nights in a row and enjoyed it immensely. And it's different than other action adventure games where you're not, you know, very aggressive. You're a hacker. You can figure out cool things. You use like a whole different array of technology to like track targets, blackmail people, figure out all kinds of like crazy stuff. So the way you go about your quote unquote heroics is a lot less direct than in other games, which is really fun. Uh, but I think some of my favorite parts of Watch Dogs, especially the first one, was the all the Easter eggs you could find, because you can walk down the street and identify people, and the programmers put in like famous fictional characters.
Oh.
Like there's Bruce Wayne in the game. Like you can walk down the street and you can see this guy in a suit, and you're like, oh hey, cool, I'm gonna identify him, and it says B Wayne,
Oh,
millionaire, all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's Batman right there.
yeah.
So it's got really fun little moments like that, and the gameplay is really enjoyable. But it does have weird things where like the criminals are doing some super shady stuff, and like depending on what you do, it either happens or doesn't. But yeah, it's definitely a different game, and it's a unique experience.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move along to the next game. This one was on May 29th. This I guess yesterday for us, Friday. It was
Yeah.
13 years ago. On the Wii, Mario Party 8. Now,
Oh man.
I can't say that I've actually played Mario Party 8, but I've played a bunch of Mario Party games, and I mean, I assume that they're all basically the same, just different mini games. If you haven't played Mario Party, you're you pick a character and you're basically playing a board game.
Mhm.
And then after each round where everyone goes, then you go into a mini game, which the mini games are normally a free for all. Sometimes it will be like 1 versus 3 or 2v2, um, just depending on what your character lands on like the board part of the game. But if you haven't checked out any of the Mario Party games, I would recommend it. They're a lot of fun. They're definitely a family type game or a party game. Um, yeah, it's very enjoyable. You can play like hours and not even get through like all the mini games. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely has a similar potential to destroy families and friendships
Yeah.
as Monopoly does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember from last week, our trivia question, who was the only Mario character that wasn't in all of the Mario Party games?
Wario.
Yeah.
Right. The next game that we have was also May 29th, which was Friday, yesterday. This one was 5 years ago that came out for the Wii U, and it was the wonderful game Splatoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing this during the E3 for like the first time, and it got a lot of people's attention. It was like the fan favorite of E3. If you don't know what it is, I don't really know much of the story part of it. It was mostly the online multiplayer part, but it would be, two teams like normal games. I think it was teams of four if I remember correctly, and you would have these weapons, and you would just spray the battlefield with paint. Either I think it was like blue paint or red paint or something. You'll go around. You're trying to do what now?
I think it was pink.
Pink, yeah.
I
But
remember seeing orange and green on some maps,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah,
didn't actually play the game.
I think it was different for each map or something. But you'll go around. You're trying to cover up the map with your color paint, and then you could come across the enemy team, and if you spray them enough with your paint, then they would be eliminated. But then they would come back, and during this whole time, you're just trying to cover as much of the map with your color. And if there was an enemy color, you can like spray over it, but in the midst of doing that, you're also trying to battle the other people. So then you can go and get your color on like where they're at and stuff. I mean, it was a different game. It was very fun. I would highly recommend it. Though now they do have Splatoon 2, which is on the Switch. So if you don't have the Wii U and you have a Switch, then you can pick up Splatoon 2.
If I remember correctly,
Fantastic.
you could run out of paint, right?
Yeah, you
And
could
had
run
to
out of
refill it
paint.
somehow.
Yeah, you would have to, if you ran out of paint, you would turn into like a squid form. And then whenever you do that and you're in your paint, you would refill your like paint canister. And then while you're in squid form, you can like move around quicker and all that stuff.
Slip and slide around.
Yeah.
I remember the little dudes are called inklings.
Yes.
So is it
Yes.
paint or ink?
Yeah, it could be ink.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does
'cause then
make
you turn
sense.
into a squid.
My bad. So everything that I said before where I said paint, just, take that
it.
out and put ink in. And yeah.
Swap it in your brain. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Splatoon. I never did get to play it, but I did love watching Alex play it because he played it a lot when he first got it. Or I guess it was it was Splatoon back when we lived together.
Yeah. Do you want to get the next
Oh
game?
yeah. So today, May 30th, 19 whole years ago, a game we already talked about on the podcast, but Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 came out on the Game Boy Advance. I never played it on the Advance, and I have no idea how it would work on the Advance. But that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But we both played Pro Skater 2 on other consoles, so I assume it was similar, maybe?
Yeah. If you haven't tuned into our first episode where we did talk about the Pro Skater, if you didn't know, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is getting remastered and will be coming out later this year. So, but then we have one more game that we're going to bring up. It's also today. That came out 6 years ago. Was Mario Kart 8. Now,
Ooh.
this game, I could talk for a little while.
On Wii U.
Yes, it was on the Wii U. There is Mario Kart 8, I think, Deluxe on the Switch, which is Mario Kart 8. So it's just the exact same. I think you just get everything unlocked. But everyone that I know of normally loves the Mario Kart games. I know I played. I think my favorite was either Mario Kart 64, which one I played. That was one I played a lot, especially with family. And then I played Mario Kart Double Dash. That one was very
Oh,
enjoyable.
wow.
Um, and then I remember playing like the original, I think Mario Kart on what was it, the NES or SNES? It was one of those that it first came out, from what I remember. But Mario Kart 8, it was, I think people were anticipating like a new Mario Kart game, and then this one came out and it was really big. Um, and they had the like online multiplayer where you get, face other people. So if you actually went through the game and unlocked like characters, I think you would unlock characters and I know stages and stuff. And then you can just go online and face other people around the world. I remember when this game came out, I was watching someone stream it, and just from watching them play it so much online and against other people, I was like, man, I really want this game. So I went out and I got a Wii U and I got the Mario Kart 8 bundle.
You got
Wow.
the Wii U just specifically for this game.
Mostly. But I mean, there was other games I wanted to play, but this was the
Yeah.
one that I really wanted to play this game. And
I remember us playing it.
and we spent hours playing it. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it, not just from like the normal track, you can hit jumps and then you'll have like a parachute that you would kind of like glide down. Also, there'll be times where you would like go up a wall or upside down and stuff, and it's still on a track, but the wheels turn to like hover wheels, and you're like just staying on the track in that way.
Didn't this one bring back tracks from the other games?
Yes, yeah, it brought back some old ones.
Like Rainbow Road
Yeah,
stuff.
Oh, there have been so many Rainbow Roads throughout the years.
yeah, there's a lot. I mean, if you enjoy racing games, this is one of the like more popular racing type games.
Yeah.
And then if you haven't played them, whenever you go through, you can hit these like item boxes, and you'll get like a random item, and then you can use those items to your advantage to like get into first place. Like one of the most iconic ones is the banana peel. Throw that out. If someone hits it, I mean, you can also hit it yourself. Even if you throw it out, you're going to spin around in your little cart, and then your character's going to go a little crazy, and then it'll get back into the rhythm and start to go. But it just gives other players times to like catch up or probably pass you in those situations. Yeah, it's a very enjoyable like racing game, especially for family and party games. So
Oh, yeah. And was 8 the one where they added the special item that gave you every item?
yes, I believe so, because it was like the crazy 8 item
Yeah.
or whatever, and you have like 8 items like surrounding your cart, and then you get to go through them and like throw them out and stuff.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that was probably my favorite part of that game.
Yeah.
Was getting the crazy 8. Yeah, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I think that's all this week in gaming history we got.
Yeah.
But we also have our new segments, the nostalgia game of the week.
So with this,
yeah.
we threw out some suggestions of what we would want to talk about. But I think we both came to an agreement that we voted on the Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you want to tell viewers about the game and listeners if they haven't heard of it?
The Simpsons Hit and Run. I don't think I got to play it as much as Nick did, but I will say that it was an incredibly ahead of its time game. um, you're basically playing as the Simpsons. I think you get to play as each one of the different Simpsons.
Um, I know.
Like maybe you don't get to play as Maggie, but I'm pretty sure you get to play as all the Simpsons, like Homer, Bart, Lisa, Marge, and then there's Apu, the convenience store clerk.
Let's see. I know there was a few different playable characters.
Um, but yeah, so you play as the Simpsons and you go around, and it's very much a sandbox adventure type game. Um, you're the story. I'm not 100% sure on. I'm pretty sure you're helping Apu. Um,
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure
yeah.
about the story either. I just know whenever it came out, gosh, I see it came out. Huh, didn't even put down whenever it actually came out. um
2003.
2003. So I was in middle school, I believe. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I was in middle school. Yeah, either at the end of elementary or in the beginning of middle school. But I mean, at that time, I didn't really play those games that I had. I didn't play to like just go through and beat. It was just games that I enjoyed playing, like as a kid.
Right.
So I remember playing this. I don't remember much of the story at all. I just know getting in cars and running around, trying to crash into other cars, hit people. Um, I think maybe there was like little missions that you did like in the vehicle. I remember doing some of those, but it was mostly getting in the car, riding around, hitting others and other people. Um,
Yeah. Like the story was secondary.
yes.
Like people were going crazy and weird stuff was happening in Springfield. And I think The Simpsons and for some reason Apu were trying to figure it out, like be sleuthy or something.
Mhm.
And it had to do with like aliens, like the I don't remember their names, but there's the like evil aliens that show up sometimes in The Simpsons.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure it was based on them. Like they were the main bad guys. But it was it was a parody of Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion. Like it was very much Grand Theft Auto for kids.
Yes.
You did pretty much all the same things. Like you ran around town, you could steal cars, you could beat people up, you could run over people. It just didn't have some of the more explicit things that Grand
Like
Theft Auto tends to have.
shooty shooty bang bang on people. Yeah.
Like yeah, like shooty shooty bang bang. Um, lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it was much calmer, I guess, but it served the same purpose for kids like us who liked those weird sandbox games where we didn't care about the story and we would spend a few minutes running over people, but then we would like try to see if we could go the speed limit or go along with other cars and maybe like pay attention to red lights. And that lasted all of 30 seconds.
And then you see like a giant hill. You're like, I want to go over that and see how
Yep.
much air I can get.
Yeah.
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 Honestly, I would prefer to play Simpsons Hit and Run over GTA. Like, bring. I mean, I wish they would make a remake or remaster version of Simpsons Hit and Run. I know friends that I play with, they definitely would play it, and I know I saw something. It was a few weeks ago. Whenever the game Dreams came out for PS4, one of my friends sent me something that he saw that someone in the game, like in that game, made Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And if you don't know the game Dreams, it's like you basically can do anything. You can create anything in there. Um, so for all people that are like very creative minded, and you enjoy video games, that's a game that you definitely could just sit down and just play for hours and just see what you can create and share it to other people, show it off to the world, and just show like everyone what you can do. Um, but yeah, I don't have dreams. I mean, if I did, I would go on and I would like download or go and access that person's hit and run that they made, and just being able to try to play this game again. Um, and I mean, would you want to have like a remastered version of Hit and
Oh,
Run?
100%, man. 100%. This game, like I said, story, don't really remember much of it,
Yeah.
but the gameplay was fantastic. And I loved The Simpsons growing up. Like, that was amazing. And so other games that I had played based on, say, cartoons or whatever, they would be on like cartoonnetwork.com, and they were like
Mhm.
little flash games. This was the first game that I played of a cartoon that I watched where I was like, wow, this is amazing. So it had a big impact on me as a kid. And I would absolutely love a remaster of this. It would be so fun.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that it was the first cartoon of a game that I played, but I know it was one that I really enjoyed playing because I could, like, going in, it's like, oh, I know who these characters are. I know what all of this is. I know this place. I've seen this. Um, it was just like very enjoyable that you can like relate to it based on other things, just of watching the show. And I think in the game, my favorite vehicle, because in the game you would get different vehicles to play, like on different missions, or you get to unlock vehicles. The one that I mostly played was um, it was the plow. It was the big truck that had the plow on the front. I can't remember the guy's name that actually owns that vehicle, but I would just go through and just run into so many cars with that, and yeah,
Goodness, I forgot about the plow. That
yeah.
probably belonged to Cletus, the like redneck guy.
I'm not. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick. Was it Plow King?
Wow, you remember the name of the vehicle?
No, I just looked it up. Plow King. Blah 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 blah. Does it say who owns it? Oh, Barney.
Oh wow.
It
Yeah, that
says,
makes sense.
yeah, it's a level 1 unlock purchase Barney. Okay.
Actually, that doesn't make sense because Barney should not own a vehicle.
The This vehicle is Barney's rival truck to Homer's own Mr. Plow in the Simpsons episode of the same name. Okay.
Interesting.
But yeah. There was a lot of different vehicles in the game, but I think that one was my favorite just because it had the plow on the front and I wanted to run into so many cars.
It's deviant behavior there, Nick.
I mean, what do you expect from like a middle school boy? Like, you just go in and have fun. You just want to just drive around and hit things. Oh man.
Goodness. Yeah. So that's our nostalgia game of the week.
Yeah.
Simpsons Hit and Run. If you haven't played it, maybe find a port of it somewhere. It's worth a little bit of messing around in.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna try to find some sort of port later on today.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you have
But yeah.
played it, make sure you let us know your favorite memories
Yeah.
of playing that game.
Yes, and correct me on the story if I just completely butchered that, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with aliens. I'm not sure though.
I mean, if they remade it, I would actually go through the story this time,
Oh
and
yeah.
not, yeah. Um.
Well,
So
yeah. Looks like
yeah,
that's about all the time we have for today.
yeah.
Well, I hope you guys have been thinking about the trivia question because I certainly haven't. And
Oh
it's
yeah, I
time to
forgot.
bring our producer Lindsay to share the answer with us. Lindsay?
Yes. So, if you remember, my question had a bonus question with it, but the main question was, in what year did Nintendo release its first game console in North America? So we'll focus on that part first. Um, any thoughts?
Lee. Who answered first last week?
I did.
Okay. Oh man, I'll go this week. Um, I know I'm gonna completely butcher this, but I'm going to go ahead and say 1982. That's
Okay.
gonna be my answer.
I
And
was
should I say system or do we just wait?
Let's do the year
Man,
first.
I was thinking 1980s as well. I think I was thinking later originally for some reason. Um, like I don't really have the knowledge of when the Nintendo systems like first like came out.
Give me your best guess.
Let's say 84.
Okay. So the correct answer.
Oh, it's gonna be what 83 in
No,
between.
it was 1985.
Oh man.
Oh man.
So close.
Okay.
So the first Nintendo system released in North America in 1985. Bonus question. Here's your chance to get some points. What was the
Okay.
name of that game console?
Nick, do you want to answer first? Do a little swap.
Yeah, I just
Or I can answer first.
I mean, you can. I'm probably way off from what you are.
All right. Well, I'm fairly certain this is going to be incorrect, but I'm just going to go with the old classic, the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay. What were you thinking, Nick?
The thing is, did they have the console come out first or their little Game Boy handheld? Because I remember, and I told you on the first episode that my first memory was playing a Game Boy.
Oh yeah, the old brick Game Boys. Oh, I
Yeah,
forget how far back those go.
yeah.
Ooh, I may have just
But
thrown this one in the trash. Uh-oh.
but I know, like, I don't. I wasn't born until '91, and it wasn't until I was a little bit older where I remember my dad having it. Um, so I don't know if that is just much newer than let's just go with the original Game Boy. I don't really know.
Okay, so the name of that console that they released in North America in 1985 was in fact the Nintendo Entertainment System,
NES.
or the NES.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
after doing some research on this, Nintendo was determined to not make the same mistakes as Atari when it came to releasing its products in the US. So they redesigned the Famicom system that they had released in Japan, and they created the NES for their worldwide release. So Nick's looking up the Game Boy.
The brick Game Boy came out in '89.
Okay, so a few
Okay.
years later.
Yeah. I guess that
So
would make
this
sense.
does give Will a point.
Yep.
And overall, Will is leading 2-1 in our trivia questions.
Man, it's like neck and neck. Jeez.
Oh man.
Okay. All right. So, like I said before, running out of time here. We're just going to wrap up this episode. We want you to be able to contact us, so you can check us out on, all different like media platforms. Will, you want to let the listeners know where they can find you?
Sure. I'm not really huge on social media, but you can definitely check out our YouTube channel, Out of the Box Gaming. Um, our Discord is also linked there, and you can find me pretty much all the time on Discord. We also have Instagram at OOTB_gaming. And check out our Patreon to get some awesome perks and maybe get a shout out on the stream.
Yeah. Speaking of Patreon, we do want to thank our Patreon that has the collector's edition, Cody Watkins or Indecent Sarcasm.
MVP.
But if you want to find me, you can find me on YouTube, Mixer, and Instagram at Ace King King, or you can find me on Twitter at AceKingKing77.
That's right. Please make sure to leave a review on our podcast on whatever platform you found us on. Leave a like, maybe follow us. Thank you so very much, and please join us next week.
Yeah. This has been Out of the Box Gaming with Nick Picard and